So your mom is white and your dad is black, and they got married at a time when that was still somewhat controversial in some circles, including in your mom's family. The NFL Films crew zeroed in on a bit of this and what happened there. Here's a clip to get the audience a flavor.
We ended up getting married at West Point. We were young and very naive. My parents pretty much disowned me and didn't come to the wedding or anything like that.
Mom and Dad won't talk to her because she married a black man. They were in Panama, and she called her mom to say, I'm gonna have a baby, and her mom hung up the phone.
Because of my parents and all, I didn't count on other people. It was just, I knew I could count on Gary.
There were many things that were said about what a relationship with a black husband would be and how you would end up being treated, etc. And so how are her parents going to know she's okay? So I believe it was once a month.
Once a month.
And once a month, I would pen a letter. Here's where we are, here's what's going on, here's what we're doing together. Never received a return letter.
He'd say, they need to know you're okay. All right.
It was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It was to prove a point. You know, I am taking good care of this young woman. I am doing the right thing.
That's what you come from. That kind of strength, that kind of love, right? The romance between your parents. What a gift that is to you and your brothers too. What do you feel when you look at that clip?
Look at you. You did it, Megyn. I have watched that probably 30 times. And every time this is what happens. The most incredible part is that I didn't know that story. My parents had never told me that story. They were busy parenting and supporting us kids. And so I'm so grateful to NFL Films for pulling that story out of my parents and having it documented in such a way that long after I'm gone, my great-grandkids will see what their great-great-grandparents did, the decision they made. That's the only reason why any of us are here. And my dad has done so many incredible things as the first black man ever to play varsity football at Army, breaking the color barrier. So many things that he pushed through as an Army brat himself. His father was a Buffalo Soldier, like incredible things. And he's my guy. And my mom, I say quite often, I believe she is even stronger, because I cannot imagine having the parents that I had and the support that I still have to be forced to make that kind of a decision between the man you love and your family. In 1970, 71, coming off the civil rights era, when it wasn't popular, period. But to have to choose between your parents and the man you love, and she did it. And what if she hadn't? What if? I mean, obviously I wouldn't be here, but like an entire generation is different because of my mom's courage. And my dad, like, he is a real man. And I believe there's not many. It's not that there's not many, I'm sorry. It's just times have changed. And for my dad to be that kind of a man, to make sure her parents knew he had her back and that he was taking care of her, that is the ultimate love story. What they have been through has reminded me that what I'm going through or have been through is like cake. What they did is so much harder and so much more important. So that's one of the reasons why I know I'm okay, because what they did is 10 times harder, and they're the reason, they're my why. They're the reason why I have stood up and kept fighting, because it's the right thing, just like they did in 1970.
Did your grandparents ever come back into your life? I mean, did they ever reconcile?
Yeah, they did. It took 6 or 7 years, and it was initiated by my Aunt Margie, who is my mom's youngest of the four. Or I guess she's third of the 4 siblings. My mom's the oldest. And all the siblings were supportive. It was just the mom and dad. And they did come back. You know, a lot of damage was done. And unfortunately, selfishly for me and my brothers, you know, we lived all over the world and in different countries and states. And so we were never able to establish that relationship with them because of the logistics. And you know what? I have fond memories of them, and they loved me. And I know now, and my grandmother was Italian. Her name, Megyn, was Filomena Lena di Portola. So
Oh,
she's a
wow.
little Italian. And my grandfather is a William Howard O'Neill, a little Irish. So my mother, like, get out of the way. She's almost 73 and she will take you out and everybody else. So when I get fiery, I'm like, there you go.
Yes,
But
I can relate to
they
this.
come
I
back.
too am the product of a half Italian, half Irish family. A lot of fire,
We
fire
can't help it.
tempers. Yeah. All right. So that's good. There was a reconciliation. I remember your dad talked about it a little bit in the film, and like how he made clear to his in-laws, I'm never going to forget what happened over these 6 years, but we can consider this day one and go forward. I mean, his strength is extraordinary. You talk about him being, just as you put it, he was the first Black player at Army or at West Point. I want to make sure I get it correct.
Yes, first Black to play varsity football ever at West Point. And it's so crazy because when you look at football teams now and how they're made up racially, I think there's a picture in that NFL Films piece of his entire Army football team, probably in 1967. And he's pretty easy to spot. The one
right.
face of the entire football team, and in that little black and white photo that's on that piece. Yeah, he did it. But you know what he says, and he said it in the piece too. He's like, I just wanted to play football. This wasn't about race. He said somebody had to be the first, and it happened to be me. And he has handled it so beautifully. And he's a member of the Army Sports Hall of Fame. He was actually drafted in the NFL, which, back then, like, cadets in any service academy were never allowed to go play professionally. You had to serve your 5 years. And now they get pardoned and they're able to do so more often if they're at a very top level. But that wasn't heard of. And the Detroit Lions still drafted him in the 17th round. So I'm just super proud of my dad. And that's where I got my love of sports, is from him.
Yes. So this is like, all this makes sense. Your love of sports, your love of country, your attitude toward, today's obsession with race that's taken over the country, which we can get to in a bit. But all of this, your background really sets up the Sage Steele that I know and that we've all been watching for the past couple of years, and how you've gone against the grain on some dicey issues, and someone tried to punish you for it and you didn't take it lying down. I love the whole background. I want to know Mona. I want to know Gary. I can't skip past the background without talking about this moment though, Sage. I have to tell you, as somebody who lost her dad to a heart attack when I was only 15, he was only 45, I too cried when I watched the NFL films because of the closeness that you have, the relationship you have with him. And they talked about in the film, and you did as well, when your dad got cancer and went through some significant health issues, 2 vertebrae removed, and just kept fighting through it. And there's a beautiful clip of you talking about that in the film. Watch.
He is a prostate cancer survivor and is currently battling multiple myeloma.
It's hard to see your hero, hurting.
He wanted to be the first person to ever give me flowers. So I turned 16 and roses were delivered to the door, and it was my dad. He's my guy, still is, no one takes the place of your dad, right? Oh.
He's our rock. Everything that he's gone through, we all get together and he's thanking us for being there.
They took out 2 vertebrae,
C6 and C7.
a tumor the size of
A little bit bigger than a golf ball in
Yeah.
the back.
we won't show you the scars, although it's kind of cool. Let me know if you want to see them. It's like, I didn't know if I was going to make it to 71. I just want to be around you guys. I just want to live.
Okay. So I can't, right? That's so like, he wanted to be the first to give me flowers. That is the sweetest thing I have ever heard. I've got to talk to Doug today. He's got to be the first to give Yardley flowers. We got to keep that rolling in our own family.
Yeah.
And how is he? That was my number one thing. How's he doing?
Oh, it's been a tough couple of weeks. He still, first of all, has prostate cancer, which he had the robotic surgery to remove the prostate in 2011. And then it was gone. And then 2 years later, it came back and it metastasized, and it's in his lower spine. It has behaved lately. I talk to that prostate cancer a lot, and I'm like, you stay in your lane. And so that has been dormant. The multiple myeloma happened in 2017. And, he just turned 77 in June. His spirits are incredible. I just told you about our trip to Greece, and I've been planning it since 2020, and then the damn pandemic got in the way and some of his health issues. And I was determined to make this happen. It was a 15-day trip scheduled with me and my mom, my 3 kids, and some dear friends of ours from here in Connecticut who are actually from Greece. And we had to cut it short. I had to come home, bring my mom and dad home after 8 days. There's just a lot of effects. Multiple myeloma is a blood cancer, but it affects your bones, and it has just taken quite a toll. I've never seen him in as bad a shape and as much pain as he was in Greece a week ago, but it was a moment because I saw him in pain and he was so happy. He still speaks Greek fluently. Excuse me, a drink. It's incredible, but he was so happy, and I was like, "We're gonna stay." And then I realized he was in such pain, and he was pushing through for me. So I, took over as the little girl, and I'm like, "Dad, we gotta go." And I got them the next day, kind of an emergency trip back to get to Johns Hopkins, where he's been treated for the last 12 years for all of his cancers. And Santorini to Athens to JFK to 5 hours to Baltimore and Friday traffic to the hospital and my poor mother. And I did it. I left my kids in Greece, which was insane, but we have dear friends and they partied in Mykonos without me. They're not telling me what happened, but they're alive. So I guess it's.
And they're a little older. They're like 19, 20, like they're not 10.
Yeah, that's true. Let me clarify. 17, 19, and 21. And I know there's no drinking age in Greece, so whatever. But I will tell you, my dad told me yesterday, thank you for, doing the right thing, the harder right in that moment when I wanted him to continue to enjoy, because I don't know how many more trips like this are left, frankly, just because of the difficulty it is to travel.
Look at the mirror. Do you see those dark spots? Well, they're not going to go away on their own, folks, sadly. Introducing the Dark Spot Corrector from Genucel, perfect for summer. The Dark Spot Corrector, with not 1 but 3 cutting-edge ingredients, goes to work fast to target sunspots, dark spots, liver spots, even old discoloration, both on your face and hands. Enjoy your summer sun, beach, and barbecues without embarrassing spots. With Genucel, you'll see the results or your money back, no questions asked. Go to Genucel.com right now, get your Dark Spot Corrector with the new Genucel Most Popular package, and say goodbye to those pesky spots tomorrow. And if you're not blown away with the results, get 100% of your money back, no questions asked. Visit Genucel.com/MK60 right now for these amazing summer essentials and save over 70% off Genucel's Most Popular package. Don't wait. Order Genucel's Most Popular package now. Get free shipping, free returns, and the best luxury skincare you've ever used. All at 70% off. Genucel.com/MK60. GENUCEL.com/MK60. All orders include a mystery luxury gift while supplies last. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.